So I've personally helped over 100 beginners without any previous experience, coming from a 9 to 5 or coming from school, get into high ticket sales and make their first $5,000 to $10,000 per month in this industry. I personally make over 40K per month in this space. I've been doing this for multiple years now. So in this video, I'm going to show you step by step exactly how you, as a complete beginner, can get into high ticket sales within the next 30 to 45 days and make your first 3 to 5K per month in this industry. I'm not going to show you how to become a millionaire or how to make tens of millions of dollars. I'm going to show you how to actually just get into this industry and start making your first dollars online, so you can start getting freedom, be able to get that taste of online money and leave your hometown, start traveling and all that stuff. That's why I got into space in the first place. So how do we actually make this happen? There's 3 different steps, 3 different parts to this journey that you need to have in place. Step number 1 to get into high ticket sales, it's not what you think it is. It's not, oh, we need to work on your skill set and we need to get you in front of roles. Most people think that I just need role placement. I just need to get a role. You do not simply need role placement, okay? I promise you, I could connect you right now with some of the biggest offers in this industry that I have in my network, but you will not land those roles. Why is that? It's because who you are and how you think, okay? Something that I had to learn the hard way in the beginning, because I got into my first high-tech sales role thinking that I would just make a shit ton of money right out of the gate, but I did not, because I didn't have the internal stuff in place. I didn't have the mental to actually land a good role and actually succeed in the role. So the first thing we need to do is identity shifting. So I put identity here as the first pointer, because the thing is, I can connect with a role. I can put you in contact with the best companies in this industry. But if you're acting from an unsuccessful, broke, whatever your current income is, whatever your current reality is, if you're operating from that perspective, you will not land roles. And this doesn't only apply if you're in a 9 to 5 right now. It applies if you're in sales right now. If you're in, let's say you're an appointment setter right now, and you're making 5K a month. Let's say you're in a sales job, like a traditional sales job right now, making 10K a month. And your goal is making double that, let's say, in a remote sales job. Or if you're in school right now, or if you're in a part-time job, or if you're in a normal 9 to 5 job right now, wherever you're at in your life right now, there's an identity that's tied to where you're at right now. And that needs to change in order to succeed in high ticket sales. I see this all the time when people think that, yeah, just because I know communication, I've done this other online business model, I'm going to succeed in high ticket sales. The reality is that, yeah, high ticket sales is a simple path. It's one skill you learn. It's very simple to succeed with. But in order for you to succeed with it, your identity needs to shift. And people that actually get this, I have a student pretty recently, I mentioned this a lot of times in my videos, who see extremely quick success. He came into my program without any experience, landed one of the top offers within less than a month, and is crushing it in the space. Why is that? Because of his internal talk, who he was internally. He had shifted his identity before he even started putting the action. So how do we do this? It's simply by deciding to kill the old version of you. How are you used to making decisions? Your old self-talk that's gotten you to where you're at in your life right now, no matter what that is. Your current reality is dictated by how you've been making decisions. For us to unlock a new reality, for us to speak with a conviction, to be able to land a good enough role for you to make 10, 20K a month, for you to be able to actually perform that role, we need to kill that old version of you, how you're used to doing stuff. So the first thing is really identity death, is killing the old version of you. So how do you actually do that? Is by consciously deciding who is the new version of you, the version of you that's making 10K a month in high ticket sales. How do they make decisions? How do they lead themselves through life? Do they invest in themselves? Do they push off making uncomfortable decisions? Do they have hard conversations? Getting very, very clear on who that is, and then aligning all of your actions with that. That was one of the hardest things that I had to learn, because I used to be so attached to making comfortable and slow decisions and analyzing. One of my mentors back in the day told me, Alex, if you want to be a good closer, you have to start acting yourself like you want your prospects to act, which meant for me investing in myself, making effective decisions, pushing myself, and doing stuff that I was uncomfortable and scared to do. That was an identity shift I had to go through. And it's the first thing you have to go through as well. So what you do is you write out on a document, what are the traits that the version of yourself that's successful would have, that's already making whatever your goal is. You write it out very, very specific. How they think, how they make decisions, what's their self-talk, how do they make decisions, how they speak, everything. Once you've done that, you start acting in alignment. And every single day, no matter how scary and uncomfortable it feels like, you act in alignment with that new identity. Okay. Once you've done that, then we're done like 80% of the work here. That's literally 80% of getting the results that you want, of making your first 5-10K in high ticket sales. Once that's done, we simply need to build up the skill set. And this doesn't have to be a long process. It doesn't have to be, okay, I'm going to spend 2 months building up the skill. No, you simply need to get good enough so you can prove to a company that you're actually valuable enough for them to hire you. So how do you learn this? You can go out on your own, you can read books, you can watch YouTube videos. I have a 4-hour course breaking down literally like live sales calls, scripts, everything. Or you can do the faster path, which is what I've done personally, what I recommend people to do, is to pay someone that's done what you want to do to learn directly from them, especially learning one-on-one. That's the best way to learn a skill, because high-ticket sales is like any sales skill. It's learned in a way that's natural to you. You need to sell in a way that's authentic to yourself, and that's something that you don't learn by it's like a course. You learn it by having someone one-on-one working with you. So you build a skill by either just going out if you want to do it on your own. You can definitely like learn a skill without buying coaching. I'm not saying you can't. You can go and read books, you can go watch YouTube videos and things like that to learn that, or you invest into getting one-on-one coached by someone who's already done it, and you build a skill that way. So you basically do reps, you do role plays, you practice, you learn a framework to follow, you learn the psychology of how high-ticket sales works, and then you just do a lot of reps with that. It's pretty simple to learn. You have guys that literally been in school and never had a 9 to 5 in their entire life. They hop in and they start just getting the right processes to follow. They understand the psychology and this practice. And you can learn the skill within 2 to 4 weeks of doing this. Once that's done, once you've learned the skill, you actually gotten valuable enough to land a role, you simply need to get access to roles. So how do we get access to roles? Couple of different ways we can make this happen. The best thing that I'm seeing right now, because I've tried everything, right? Like I've placed so many reps myself. I myself landed roles through cold outreach, so sending DMs on Instagram, through different networks. I've paid my way into different roles. So a lot of different ways to do this. The best way that I'm seeing right now for you as a beginner, if you don't want to pay a single dollar to get into high-ticket sales, the best way to do that is by going on to Instagram and going on to YouTube and finding people that are so-called growth operators. Okay, so growth operator is someone who runs the back end of a big influencer's offer. So for example, a lot of you guys know Breast Scales, you guys know TGR, maybe you know, who else could it be? Alex Eubank, big fitness influencer. Shelby Sapp, like all these big influencers that sell courses, mentorships, etc. They all have growth operators, people that run the entire back end of their business. What does it mean? It means that they run the marketing, they run the sales team, which is important for us. And those people don't have as many followers. So if you find those people on Instagram and on YouTube, you can reach out to them. They are the people who are hiring the sales team for these influencers, but they have maybe like 1,000 followers on Instagram. So we want to reach out to those type of people. We want to find people that run the back end of these influencers company and like run their sales teams, etc., and reach out to them. That's the best way by far that I've seen right now for a beginner to actually stand out, to be able to land roles, because you're competing in a way smaller pond. You can imagine reaching out to Alex Hormozi, let's say. He has like 5 million followers. He's not going to see your DM. But if you reach out to someone who runs the back end, who runs the sales team, like the sales manager or the growth operator of his team, that guy is not going to have a huge personal brand, so you actually get seen. That's the best way to reach out. You can do that by finding them on Instagram, doing some stalking on there, on YouTube. You can find these people, and you want to start building a network and connect with those people. That's the best way to get in contact with these companies. And then when you get on an interview and you get the opportunity to actually speak with them, which you will do if you just reach out to a couple of these people every single day, then you simply need to just show and get them bought in that you are someone who's going to crush with their business. And the best way to do this is just being different. It's being different from everyone else. Everyone right now is sending the most generic ChatGPT outreach videos and how they're showing up in the interviews. They're just like super, I'm a hard worker, I'm going to perform at your business. The only thing you need to do, if you can generally just like take one thing away from this video, when you've applied all these different things and you get to the point where you're going to be starting to land interviews with good companies, with good sales managers, just show up to those interviews and just be a real freaking person. Share stories they can actually resonate with. Share a story of how you got to the point where you're at in your life right now. Get them to buy into who you are as a person. And if he's like a real, authentic, and cool guy, they will hire you. The only reason why you're not going to succeed is if you show up and you're like, oh, I'm super hardworking and I want to do this all because I want to make more income. I want to help you book more appointments. They can sense when you're not being authentic, you're not being real. So just like be real, and you will crush with this process. They will hire you, and you will start then getting calls booked on your calendar. They will start giving you leads, people to call, people to talk to, and you will start to be able to show up for them, close deals, and get paid commissions on everything you sell. And that's going to get you to the point that you want to get to, where you have to obviously to lock in, really build a skill, and then you get the role. And then once you come into the role, you simply just do the actions that the version of yourself is successful would do. You just show up, you take the calls, you get better, you improve, you get feedback, and that's how you hit your first 3 to 5K realistically within the next 30 to 45 days of actually landing the role. Hope this makes sense. Hope this is clear, this process. You can start doing this literally right now. If you want my help to go through this entire process and speed up this entire journey of building the skill by getting trained by me directly, getting placed into roles, and you also get trained to actually perform in those roles, you can apply for my mentorship. If you're serious about that, download the video. Any questions, shoot me a DM on Instagram, and I'll see you tomorrow as always in the next video. Ciao.